back to my channel. I am Heather Briggs of My So Quilty Life, and today we are talking about month 4 of the Flower Stand block of the month, specifically block 8. Now we are going to be making this adorable block, but not just one. We're going to be making 2 of these adorable block 8s. So go ahead and grab your flower pack and pull out your pattern, and let's get started on blocks number 8. Okay, I wanted to go ahead and show you in the quilt, I'm sure you know where it's at, where the block 8 is. So there's actually 2 block 8s. They're these little cute flower vases, flower pots with 3 little flowers. We have made these flowers before. You may remember them all the way from block 1, this block. So these are the same flowers, same technique. The stems are different, but the actual flower petals are the same. So right here in the bottom right and bottom left of the flower stand is our block 8. So we've got 2, we're making 2. The pattern tells you the cutting to make both of them, so you don't have to do any of the math. But here is the other one. So cute. I think that adds something cute to the side of the flower stand. Okay, so for this tutorial, you do need your month 4 flower pack. This flower pack has the block patterns for block 7 and 8. And for this tutorial, we are making block 8. We're making 2 block 8s. So go ahead and open up your flower pack and get your pattern out and flip to page 3. So here's your pattern. We're making these 2. So there's 2 here. So go ahead and flip to page 3 and we will get started on making this adorable flower pot block. Now, I've went ahead and cut out all my pieces. The cutting instructions for the block are on page 3, just right under the diagram. So here are my pieces. I am using these little alphabet markers that I included in month 1's packet. So I hope you're enjoying these. These are helping me stay organized on my design board with all my pieces. So let's go ahead and start with step 1. So for step 1, it's just drawing a diagonal line on the back of fabric B, D, H, and J squares. So you can see we've got fabric B, D, H, and J right here. So J's right there. So go ahead, if you do not use diagonal seam tape, I use diagonal seam tape. So if you do not, go ahead and draw that diagonal line. But we're going to go ahead and start on step 2. Now I'm going to be combining a lot of steps because this is techniques we've already used previously in other block tutorials, and I don't want to take up too much time showing you what we've already showed you in month 1 with making these flowers. So we are going to get started with step 1, and we need our fabric I units, and we're making 8 in each print, so you should have 8 of each print cut out. So this is a lot of work, but we're making 8 in each print. What we are doing is essentially just adding our fabric H squares to the top corners of our fabric I rectangles. Now, I didn't choose directional fabric on purpose, so you didn't have to pay attention to how you were adding those fabric H squares, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to assemble on our diagonal line, and we are going to press out towards fabric H. Now, I'm going to move to step 3, because step 3 I'm just going to do at my machine. I don't know about you, but when I am at my machine, I really just like to sit down and sew as much as I can. So at any moment, I try to make sure that I can chain piece what I can. So we need our fabric K squares. This is for step 3. Now, it is very important that we keep the correct pink or peach with the correct yellow. So I like to lay them out on my design board. I had them on my design board like this, but I like to lay them out like this. So I know for step, I'll just pull this one out. For step, let's move those up a little bit. For step 3, we're just taking 1 fabric K and 4 of our fabric J squares, and all we're doing is assembling on our diagonal line, all 4 on the corner of our fabric K squares. Super simple. And then you're going to press towards fabric J. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of this. Now this makes enough for both blocks, so you don't have to do any math when cutting. This is for both blocks. They're made and colored the exact same way, you're just making 2. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that. It's going to take me a little bit, but when I get back, we will move on to step 4. Okay, I just got done with step 2 and step 3, and man, oh man, did that take a while. I think it took me about, let's see, 30 minutes, maybe 20, 25 minutes to do all of that. So just be prepared that this step does take a little while to get through, but the end result is going to be worth it, and this should be the most labor-intensive part of the entire block. So I'm just laying out really quick these, so when I move them to the side, they are all together. Okay, so now I'm going to move those out of the way, and we are going to be moving on to step 4. So for step 4, we need our fabric N and fabric D squares. Now for this one, this is directional fabric, so I don't know if you can see that, but it is directional. These little leaves run up and down, so we will have to make a left unit and a right unit. So I'm going to go ahead and separate. We're making 2 lefts and 2 rights. And what we're doing, I'm just going to lay these out this way. And what we're doing with our fabric D squares is we are assembling them to the top corner. This is our left unit, so I'm talking about the left unit first. To the top corner, we're going to press towards the green, so press towards fabric N. So once you have done that, then you're going to assemble the other fabric D to the bottom and press towards fabric N. So you're going to do that for 2, but you're going to also do the opposite for the right unit. So for this one, you're going to assemble your fabric D squares to the top left. Then you're going to press towards your fabric N, and again assemble the remainder D's on the opposite corner, so that would be bottom right. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick, and when I get back, we will move on to step 5. Okay, I just finished up with step 4. So for step 4, we have, let's see if I can get this right, our RN unit. Just because these are directional, I want to make sure they're right. Okay, there we go. There we go. So we have 2 left, so LN units, that's left N, and 2 right N units. So now we're going to be moving on to step 5. I'm actually going to set these aside. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and move on to step 5. So for step 5, we are just making 2 middle flower units using these K units. And if you want to hear a funny story, so these are down here now because I realized I assembled them incorrectly. Not incorrectly, I had cut my original fabric incorrectly. I cut it a whole ½ inch bigger and didn't realize it until I went to film the part that I'm about to film now for step 5. So lucky me, I had to literally remake them. Okay, not remake them, I had to trim off ½ inch from each one, and then I had to cut 24 more white squares and then go back to my sewing machine and assemble them. So let me show you. I kept one. So literally I just chopped off, let me see if I can see this. I chopped off a ½ inch on one side, and then so that little piece is still there, but it gets cut off when you assemble and trim off that little piece. So let me cut that off. Okay, here we go. So now we can do our step 5 without any hassle. You guys were probably, you can rewind the video and see where these pieces were way bigger. You guys were probably like, hold on, yours don't look like the pattern, and that's because it had a ½ inch gap right here, and those are supposed to meet right there in the middle. So lucky me, I had to redo that, and see, even I make mistakes and it's my own pattern. So let's go ahead now and get started on the middle unit for step 5. And this one, we are just assembling our I units and 1 fabric K unit, and I need to trim and press these, so I will do that before I assemble them together. But for the sake of time, let's just get going. And we need 8 fabric E. So our fabric E's go into the top, bottom corners of our little flower here. Super cute. This looks like a hot mess actually from my angle. But what we're going to do, there's several different things. We are first going to assemble these fabric E's to our I unit, then our I units to our K unit, and then again here. Then we assemble them together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, When I get back, we'll have our middle unit flower done. Okay, I just finished with step 5, my middle units, and I went and trimmed them nicely. We're gonna go ahead and set those aside. So I'll put them up there. And now we need one of this pink of our eye unit, and we need one of this pink for our eye unit. We also need fabric O, 2 fabric G. Then we need 1 L in unit and 1 R in unit. So what we're going to do here first is we are going to assemble our fabric G to our eye units, and then we're going to assemble those to our N units, and then both of those will be assembled to fabric O. You're going to make 2 of those middle stem units. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and when I get back, we're going to be moving on to step 7. Okay, I just got done with step 6, and here is my middle stem units. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to step 7. So for step 7, we're essentially making a left flower unit and a right flower unit. And we're making 2 of each because we have 2 flowers. I'm just going to lay out 1 of each, but just know you need to make 2 of each. So my little piece is starting to fold back in from being ironed. Okay, so what you need is you need 3 of your pink, and I'm just laying them out. So this is actually this side. This lighter pink is going to be the right side. The left side is this pink with these little tiny little flowers. So you need 3 of your eye units and 1 K unit. Okay, now you need 2 fabric E squares. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, and then we need 1 fabric F at the bottom, and then lastly we need fabric A, 2 fabric A's. Okay, so for this step, what we need to do first is assemble the E to an I, and then we need to assemble a K to an I, and then assemble those together. After that, you will assemble your A and your F. And that's for both the left flower and the right flower. And you're going to be making 2 of each. So I will go ahead and do that for both. I'll have 2 of each. And when I get back, we're going to be moving on to step 8 and assembling that flower bouquet unit. Okay, I just got done with step 7. So here I have my left flower units and my right. So my L flower unit and R flower unit. It just means left and right. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put together our flower bouquet unit in step 8. So for step 8, I'm just going to get 1 of everything really quick and put, here we go. Okay, for step 8, we need a middle flower unit, we need a middle stem unit, and then we need our L and our flower unit. Okay. So all we're going to do here is we are first going to assemble this flower unit to the middle stem unit and then these to the side. Now, you do have to pay close attention. You want this middle stem right here to line up really nicely with this flower unit. And then you also want to make sure that you're lining up, so right here, this seam with this seam, and then once you have a seam here, you're lining up these seams here and this seam here. So just pay close attention that you are lining those seams up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and assemble those, and when I get back, we will be putting together that little pot unit. Okay, I just finished up my step 8. I just need to trim them off a little bit. But I wanted to show you, don't forget your seams do need to nest up in several places. And I know there's a lot going on here, so just try your best at getting that done. Now we're going to move on to step 9. So for step 9, you need your fabric L rectangles and your fabric B squares. All you're doing is assembling your fabric B squares on the bottom of fabric L rectangles on your diagonal line and pressing towards fabric B. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, I just got done with step 9. Now we're going to move on to step 10. So for step 10, we need our remaining pieces. So we need our 2 fabric M rectangles. We're going to assemble those to the top with our 1/4 inch seam. After we have done that and pressed towards fabric M, we're going to assemble our fabric C rectangles to the sides of that, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we will start to assemble our block 8. Okay, I just finished up with step 10, so here are my flower pot units. Now, the final step, we're almost done, guys. I know this block is definitely, for me at least, has been a labor of love, especially when I made a mistake with my assembly. Okay, all we're gonna do is assemble our flower bouquet unit to the top of our flower pot unit. Simple, super easy. You're gonna press towards your flower pot unit and then we will be finished. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and when I get back, we'll have 2 finished block 8s. Okay, I just finished up with both of the block 8s and they turned out so good. I'm so proud of them. I know if you're making this, you're probably struggling with this half up here because it is a lot of tiny patchwork, especially the pressing. Just those seams get a little bulky, so feel free to press open. You don't have to follow my pressing directions, but just hang in there. If you're struggling with this block, hang in there. You will get it. Maybe make one whole block first, then make the other so you got a hang of it. But here are my cute blocks. I can't believe we just finished block 8. What do we have? 4 more blocks left and then the finishing. Definitely 2 months left of this block of the month, and that is so crazy to me. I hope you're having fun sewing along. I hope your blocks turned out wonderful. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the front camera to say goodbye. Woo! Okay, that was a chore, was it not? I know I shouldn't be saying that, but these blocks were a labor of love, especially that top unit. I know I just said that when I was showing you how to make it, but if you are struggling with these blocks, remember to take it slow. Press correctly, have an accurate 1/4 inch seam, and remember to trim and just take it slow. Pin at your nesting seams, you will be just fine. So just take a deep breath, you'll get through it. I hope you enjoyed making these blocks. So again, we have 2 of them for month 4, block 8. They're blocks, they're technically blocks 8. Blocks 8. So I hope you enjoy making these 2 things. Now we're almost done with this block of the month. We have 2 months left plus the finishing. So if you're sewing along with this block of the month, be sure to leave a comment below letting me know what you're enjoying most about this block of the month and what you're looking forward to as the months come. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video. And guys, I hope you have a wonderful quilty weekend. I will see you next time for another tutorial. Bye guys.